Welcome back to the channel, guys. Welcome back to another video. Today we have a very special collaboration with some MoonYield ambassadors. And guys, this is going to be a good one. If you've got any questions about the upcoming MoonYield protocol, be sure to drop it in the comments below. Guys, this is an exciting 2 weeks coming up to the 19th. Get excited, guys. Stack that MSS, and I'll be right back with you in just a second. Count it down with me. 3, 2, 1. All right, guys. We've got Mike, Crypto Cuban, and we've also got Scott, the investor. Scott, what is going on, man?
How you guys doing?
What's up, Scott?
And we're doing good. What an exciting last week. There was Mike, Scott, we had this pre-sale that was going on with MSS. I mean, not MSS, with the Moonshare token. What do y'all think? Did you think anything like this was going to happen?
Awesome, no, man. I thought it was going to be around for a little bit longer. I thought we'd get a couple hours out of the pre-sale, but it was almost instantly sold out.
Yeah, I called a buddy of mine, and he was like, "Yeah, I'll get on there in a little while." And I'm like, "Man, you don't understand. It's at night." A buddy of mine, he got in at 90% sold out. Like, he was lucky to make it. So I was like, "You have got to be kidding me."
Yeah.
So
I mean, what was that? Was like 6 minutes, 7 minutes, something like that? It was fast.
What do you think, Scott?
It was about that amount of time. As soon as I got on, I was like, okay, let me record this purchase live, and then it was instantly sold out. I'm like, well, forget that video. We'll move on. So yeah, it happened fast.
Yeah,
that's a pretty good sign, right? I mean, what was that? 160K, 170K, something like that in a couple minutes. That's definitely a good sign.
Somebody brought up a really good point. They were like, it is a really good sign about the future of this protocol, particularly if, so it was what, how much BNB? 200 BNB worth sold out in less than 10 minutes?
Yeah, 200 BNB.
Yeah, so we've got Scott, what is it, the 19th? Yeah, the 19th that everything's going live. And then, Mike, they're going to do... trading's going to go live, what, 12 hours before the protocol launches for the Moonshare token?
Yep, 12 hours. And the interesting thing about that is that no new tokens are going to be issued during that time. So the only way to buy Moonshare is going to be if one of the pre-salers sells some Moonshare. And I'm sure there's going to be, there's always going to be some sellers. Interested to see, how much is actually going to be traded during that time.
Yeah, that's... because, Mike, you've talked about this several times. Moonshare is going to issue out rewards, correct?
Yeah, so they have a fixed emissions rate for the next 365 days. Depending on how many people stake MUSD in the stability pool, that's what determines how quickly those emissions are going to be dished out. But I believe the supply overall is 100 million, but 90% of that is all going to be reserved for reward emissions.
Scott, what's your thoughts on this, man?
I don't think it is going to force some scarcity and some supply shock. So I think it's set up in a way to really force it. So even though I'm really interested to see what happens as far as I want to say global adoption, but a larger adoption, right? I think right now the reason this sold out so quickly is because there's a lot of people that are inside the community that really like MSS. Obviously, trusted team and all the stuff that goes behind it lends a lot of favor to it. But if you start to get into any outside communities who want it, it's going to be almost impossible to get. So I'm curious as if the supply is almost too small to drive, a lot of external, I don't know, FOMO out of like other interested groups and parties, or if that'll just cause a major supply shock and prices will go crazy. I'm actually pretty interested on this one.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. So everybody that's watching, good, people are starting to hop in. This is the part of the process that this is the coin that everybody bought. So Mike, Scott, if y'all want to just chime in, start from the upper left, and let's go to lending down to the stable coins. Scott, take it away, man. Tell me your thoughts on this whole circle of profit, as we call it.
You know, I'm really still absorbing a lot of this myself, if I'm being 100% honest. So I don't know if I'm the one person to talk about the flow here of the money flows, but as I dug into it originally before just kind of getting into the pre-sale, I'm just seeing this cause a major supply shock, because it just doesn't seem like there's gonna be much involved. And then also I really think that it will cause a notable effect and upswing in price over on MSS. So that's really what I took from it. I don't know, Mike's probably better to speak to this than I am.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
Mike,
So
Mike, take Scott through this all the way around the circle. You are excellent at explaining this, so take it away.
yeah. So I mean, everyone wants something to do, with their MSS, and here in this MoonYield, it's going to offer a lot of utility, because you'll be able to basically stake this MSS. A lot of people kind of get caught up on, lending and borrowing. I'm not really sure what that is. MSS, for the user, it's really just going to be, you're going to stake your MSS and you're going to get a certain amount of that MSS value in MUSD. So 130% collateral. So if you put in $130 worth of MSS, the maximum you can get out would be about $100 of MUSD. And then you can use that to farm another token, which is going to be the Moonshare token. So if there really is going to be some FOMO that's going to be generated here with the Moonshare token, well, I mean, the best way to get your hands on it without physically being able to purchase it or in a swap is going to be by staking your MUSD. The really cool thing about this platform is that it's really good at incentivizing the behavior that's going to benefit the platform the most. So if there is, MUSD is a stable coin, so it's going to maintain its peg at around $1. If it drops below, that's going to be a great opportunity to buy a stable coin that should be at $1, but you can pick it up for 90 cents, 95 cents. When you do a swap with MUSD, that is going to push the peg over $1. Well, now if you have the peg over $1, now that's going to incentivize people coming over through MSS and swapping now their MSS, or not swapping, but lending out their MSS to get their hands on MUSD.
So Mike, on this, and by the way, Drip Millions, welcome to the live stream. This is the secret agent of MSS, Drip Millions. So watch him in the shadows, ladies and gentlemen. He will come out and drop some alpha straight on you. Mike, you bring out some really good points in this Drip. I've never seen you without your glasses off, so this is a rare moment in YouTube lore.
We get the eye contact here.
That's right. That's right. So Mike, you bring up a really good point, is watching the peg of MUSD. So Scott and Drip, if you would listen to what Mike's explaining, and Mike, if you would go through it, and Scott and Drip, if you would give Mike some questions on this and kind of go over some scenarios with them, because in MoonYield, there's a lot of ebb and flow to where if the protocol reacts one way, there's another equal reaction on the other side. So Mike, kind of take them down this trail and do a little back and forth so we can help the viewers kind of absorb this whole process.
Well, yeah, just like I was saying, the platform itself is really intelligently designed, and the way that it's structured is so that all of the tokens that are used within the protocol are all going to benefit each other. And the most important thing about this is the Liquidity platform, in its essence, is built to create utility, scarcity, and value to the underlying token. In this case, it's going to be MSS. And I mean, why is MSS so important? It's because it's basically the key to everything else. It's the best way, the cleanest way to get to MUSD. And then once you do that in the stability pool, that you get your hands on Moonshare. And then, of course, you can go ahead and stake Moonshare in order to get yourself some MUSD. So the system itself is built to sustain MUSD, which is kind of like the centerpiece of it. And then, like we were talking about the pegs, when the pegs go up, it's going to incentivize the behavior that's going to bring that stable coin back down to $1. And then if it drops below that peg, it's going to incentivize the action that's going to raise that back up to $1. And of course, MSS is the best way to utilize anything on here, because you can take profit in another token. And one really cool thing that I'm not sure a lot of people really kind of view this as, but usually when you take out a loan, you're going to be paying interest on that loan. So if you take out a credit card, you're going to be paying like a 30% interest on any money that you use that credit card for. Here, we have a 0% loan. But
whoa, 0%? Who? Holy hell, Mike. Keep going.
So you have a 0% loan, but the the currency, the asset that you're getting loaned, you can now stake for multiple 1,000% of APR. So you can borrow money, use that borrowed money to farm something at 1,000% APR or greater, and then use those profits to pay off your loan. At 1,000% APR, and I'm shooting low here because, you know, when these platforms first go live, those APRs are just like, you know, wild and crazy. They're way up there. So I'm really dialing it down low for people to just get their minds wrapped around it. But if you're generating something at 1,000% interest and you're using money that you got at 0% interest, you should be able to pay off your loan and take profit relatively quickly within the platform. Oh, wife just got home with some groceries. That's dinner right
She
there.
bought you some food there, sir.
Yeah, that's a fat
Mike,
bag right there.
Mike, real, I love it, man. This is the beauty of live YouTube. Drip, you get did you get any food delivered today? Scott, how about you?
Yeah, man. I had I've got to say I had some big ass waffles delivered this evening.
My God, I'm hungry already.
Piled high, bro.
Scott, what'd you eat, man?
We had some burgers earlier. Outside of that, I haven't had any food delivered, but sounds good.
Hey, listen, we're gonna make this like a dinner time. Hey, my wife, we're gonna make this like a dinner time conversation, to where we talk about this, but we're still gonna have just a low key conversation at the same time. Mike, take us down this trail, because everybody bought this coin out in less than 10 minutes. What are those token holders going to benefit right when this platform launches?
Well, like I was touching base on before, those APRs, that's really what everybody is focusing on in the moment. And the way the APRs work is they're going to be highest at the start, and then naturally, as more liquidity gets added or more users get into the pool, those APRs are going to go down. So it really highlights the importance of wanting to be in there first and with the most capital you can possibly go into. And then the way the liquidity platform has the emissions rate is they're going to be starting high, but it then kind of balances out where they just don't drop immediately. They kind of taper down over that first 365 day period. So we should be getting some pretty decent looking APRs here for the next year. But of course, the highest are going to be right at the start. And you stake your Moonshare and you get MUSD, and then you can just kind of put that MUSD back into the stability pool. But you can also use those profits that you just gained to either buy some MSS, or maybe you just want to buy MUSD without getting into MSS. Because a lot of people are kind of concerned with, oh, you know, what if MSS price goes down? You know, I don't want to get liquidated. Well, that's perfectly fine. You can get involved in MUSD by swapping BNB, and you don't have to take out a loan. And when you do this, that's only going to help the peg go up. That's going to support the peg the most. And then you can take advantage of everything in the system, but not having to necessarily use MSS. But of course, what's going to happen is the majority of people are going to use their MSS to get into the platform. And that is going to cause a lot of MSS to be injected into the system. And that is going to dwindle down the loose supply. And when you dwindle down the loose supply, there's a very high likelihood that the price of that asset is going to go up. Maybe it's a little bit, maybe it's going to be a lot. That's totally dependent on participation. But it's a really, really well structured, well thought out system. So I'm really excited to see how it's actually going to work, you know, in real time as people go depositing their money, and you know, this platform just does its thing.
So let's do this. So guys, we've got 24 watching right now. I know you guys have got some questions. I see this. Here's a good one for all three of you. Price prediction on Moonshare Token. What do y'all think? I mean, it's 7.5 cents right now.
7.5 cents. I mean, I'm gonna say 10 cents relatively quickly. And then once that 10 cent comes in, then 15 cents once that FOMO gets in real hard, once people start to wrap their mind around exactly how valuable this token is.
Yeah.
But the fact that it's so scarce and so hard to come by right now is really what I'm interested the most in, to see that that parabolic effect go into play.
What you think, Drip?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a guy to do predictions, price predictions, really. I don't like to do them too often. But I mean, 7.5 cent. I mean, psychological levels, sort of 20 cent, things like that. You know, I'd like to see a 3x definitely off the bat, because as you say, it's very scarce. Not that easy to come by right now. So yeah, and awesome job, by the way, to the team for the smooth pre-sale. It was very, very smooth. So smooth it was gone in 9 minutes. So.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Scott, this if you look on the Liquidity platform, or really any of you guys, their LQTY rewards token is several dollars. I'm not going to do any kind of price prediction either, but what would it take for Moonshare to get to that type of price?
I think it's going to take some external exposure, you know, for groups outside of our general sphere to want to get in there. But I think it's so scarce, it'll be, and again, there's really not that many tokens, and only a small handful of people ended up getting them, right? Some of those sold out in 9 minutes. Some of those are larger lumps. You had a 10 BNB max, something like that. So
correct.
A lot of it sold super fast. I see the price doubling very easily, because I just don't think that I don't think there's going to be that much up for grabs. And I think a lot of people are going to hold on to large portions of their bags to see what happens with it, right? So I see it happening pretty quickly. But I think for it to get to that level, I think you'd have to have some external communities start to get some exposure. So I'll probably take a little marketing and get outside of the sphere of the people who are, you know, previous drip people, MSS people who've kind of, you know, people who would generally tune into a lot of our content.
So Mike, go ahead, Mike.
No, I was just going to say, like, this is a reward token, but there's a fixed supply to this reward token. The supply is not elastic. You know, a lot of times people kind of think that a reward token is like minting tokens as it goes along, because so many other platforms do that. But there is no minting of this token. Like, it is a fixed supply, and the only way that you can get it is through emissions and rewards. I'm sure you can, once it goes live on the market, there's going to be some buying, trading, and, you know, selling back and forth there. But utilizing that token within the ecosystem is really where you're going to get the most bang for your buck from that.
So let's talk about strategy. And this strategy here, I did not come up with this. I put an edit on it, but this is one of the Telegram users. He has a 6-step strategy. Mike, so on this person plans on 1 week before launch letting their timer run for 7 straight days and then doing a claim. On this, Mike, if you would talk about the collateral ratio. That there's been a lot of questions about that. What do we encourage as a community for our users to really err on the side of caution when they take their first loan out?
Typically it's a good idea to not just max out your collateral right at the start. Typically when platforms like this launch, there's always going to be some volatility in the underlying assets. So this includes MSS, this includes the Moonshare token itself. So you have to kind of assume there is going to be some volatility. So you just don't want to go in there maxing out your bag at 130% collateral and just take everything in there. So it may be a good idea to kind of maybe DCA into that. And maybe instead of maxing your collateral ratio of 130%, maybe you go a little bit less than that. Maybe you go with a little buffer in between. If you have, let's say, $100 from that 130% collateral, maybe instead of going in with 100, you go in with 70. Give yourself an extra 30% of buffer there. So that would mean 150% collateral ratio. You know, adding some padding to that, so it gives freedom for the price to move without you as the user being so on edge. Like, what's going on? Is the price going up? Is the price going down? It just gives you a little bit of room, gives you the chance to kind of sit back and observe and get your mind wrapped around how the protocol works and the best ways to take advantage of that.
Drip, Scott, I'll tell you, on my end, I think I'm going to go a little bit conservative on collateral ratio. What's you guys' strategy for week one? Are y'all going to go a little bit conservative to get your feet wet to kind of see how everything goes? What's y'all's thoughts, Scott?
With this stuff, it really depends. So I haven't really come up with a strategy yet, but it's generally one of two ways. I either go conservative and go about 50%, or I just send it to see what happens. Right, we're in the middle of a crypto bull run, and in the end, this is all discretionary income for me. So it's like, in the end, do you want to just leverage it and see what happens? And if everything goes your way, you end up making killer money. So I don't know which direction I'll go, but may roll the dice and just send it and see what happens. It's only money, right?
Okay, Drip, you're on the clock. Scott said send it. What are we doing over there, Mr. Secret Agent?
Well, bro, you know me. I've been traveling a lot lately, and I've only been back a few days from my 2 months in Mexico, and I haven't come up with a hard strategy yet. I'll be quite honest with you. I'm still absorbing a lot of this, and I watched your video recently about your take on things, and I'm definitely erring towards where Scott's going with it. I think I'm going to go. Look, the bull run's been very kind to me so far, very, very kind. So the party's only just getting started. So I'm probably going to go a little harder than I would typically. If you'd have asked me maybe 4 or 5 months ago, maybe a bit more conservative, but right now I'm probably going to go a little harder, I think. Yeah,
I'm leaning on the side of send it. It's been good for me.
Hashtag send it.
But I will tell you this: in step 3 on this chart, if you see it says reinvesting for longevity, however much that I do take out, I am going to take 25% of that MUSD. And it's my opinion, I am going to put it back into the staking protocol just to keep more capital coming into the protocol. But something that I am going to try as a rinse and repeat type thing. If you look at step 5, the MUSD rewards after the Moonshare token gets staked, I'm going to take 50% and rotate it back into the stability pool. And then I'm going to take the other 50% and probably put it in Danny D's platform or do something else with that, or get some Peppermint FX NFTs, or go into another coin.
Don't forget Pocket Finance, man. Don't forget Pocket.
Yeah. And, they say Pocket Finance is okay, right?
It's all right.
We know a guy, right?
They're doing pretty well.
Yeah, there definitely is some science to just sending it, because as we've been talking, the APRs are going to be highest right at the start. So, there is actually a really good chance that you send it, you go max in, you take advantage of those APRs right off the bat, and you can make some serious money within those just those first 2 days right there. You could repay your loan, or you can even pay down your loan, so there's not so much risk on the table. But then you can just kind of recirculate those rewards back in using capital you didn't even have before. So the system is meant to generate those rewards in these assets where you're always able to pay down your risk, but you always have another currency that you can take profit in.
Hey,
So
Scott,
it's
in
really
step
bullish,
5
like
in
I said.
recycle, when we put MUSD back out, say if somebody wanted to take 50% of what they made and put it in Paca, what's Paca paying right now?
Standard is 0.33 a day.
See,
About 150% APR.
See, and that's something, guys, that you could easily strategize into this. So where if you wanted to take half your MUSD, and Scott, if you have a link, if you want to put it in the live stream where people can get onboarded to it, guys, Scott's going to put a link in here. Hop onto his platform and get signed up, because what you can add to as part of your strategy in step 5, you can hop right into Paca, take your profits and put it in there and make your stablecoin work on its own as well. Scott's built a tremendous platform.
Hey,
Thank
Scott,
you.
when's that SUI pool coming up, man? I got my SUI
Coming-
hot in my
You
pocket.
got your SUI sitting ready to go.
Yeah,
So
man.
it's coming soon. I put that in the private chat because I'm on the wrong browser, and
Scott, you have a SUI pool coming up? Tell me about it.
We do. So basically what we've done is the platform's been super popular. Most everything we're running right now is through USDC. We also have an Arrow pool on Base. But essentially what we'd like to do is integrate other chains. So SUI being one of the main chains, we do a lot of farming on SUI. SUI's a little bit difficult because it's not an EVM token, so you can't just run it through like a Rabi wallet or a MetaMask. So it needs to be built a little bit different. So in a nutshell, though, it will allow you to utilize the SUI network, stake SUI stable coins, and then also stake your SUI in the vaults and earn the extra percentage that way as well. So we've got, I put that in there. There's very soon, in the next handful of days, I won't give a specific date, but we'll be able to launch the second side of our platform, which is going to be the vaults. But to explain the pools, it's extremely simple. Stablecoin pools, you go get stablecoin on either the new Sonic network is coming out soon. So if you get stable coins on there, or you have it on Binance Smart Chain or Base, or what else? We've got a couple more coming up too. But anyway, you throw your stable coins in there and you just earn a flat yield. Whatever the rate is that day generally fluctuates between 0.33 and 0.4 on days where there's promos. But that allows you to work in between some different networks. If you like a specific network that you want to, essentially throw your stable coin in a pool there and then just prints money every day. We use those in concentrated liquidity pools. That's how we generate the yield. And then we just throw it back on the contract for the users to have everything staked. But in a few days, we're going to launch our vault side, and that will allow you to stake your assets that you want to grow. So if you're really interested in holding SUI because you think it's going to skyrocket, or if you're interested in holding something else, and maybe we'll be able to have an opportunity to add something in like MSS or something, that'd be a cool little segue. But if you think those assets are going to go up, you don't want to sell them. So you want to stake them somewhere and hang on to them, and then maybe earn some additional yield on that. And then when the time comes, you want to scale out of your positions, 20% of whatever your position is in BNB, or maybe it's in SUI or something else. You can sell those and capture some profits and kind of responsibly scale your way out as the bull run goes up. But platform's been around for 7-8 months, something like that. I think we're 8 months in now, pretty close to it.
I got your link up there in
Perfect.
pin, Scott.
Perfect. And we got over 5 million in deposits, and it's doing really well.
That's amazing, man. And that the SUI staking and vaults, man. I'm highly interested in that. I really want to know more on that. So I'll definitely, once I get some more information from you, I'll be putting it out on a live stream.
For sure.
Hopefully, whenever you have another day off.
There's not a lot of SUI opportunities out there because it's a much different type of network to build on. You got to use SUI Move, and there's really specific ways to do it. There's no proxy contracts. There's no this or that. So there's not a lot of add-ons. You build everything from scratch. And so there's no oracles. There's no a lot of stuff. So whereas we would hope the development would be a little faster, we're having to build everything from scratch, but we're super close.
That's amazing, man. Excited for you.
Thank you.
Scott, did I hear a rumor about an XRP vault or an XRP pool?
There's an XRP vault. Yeah, there's an XRP vault. So I've been loading up on XRP for a while now, and of course everything's been booming, so that's super helpful. But there is a vault where you can stake your XRP. You'll earn an additional on whatever the dollar value of that is when you stake it. You'll earn some cash that way, and it also gives you gives you an additional boost of percentage APR on the corresponding on the pool side. So if you've got some stable coins over there, you get a little more money per day on your stable coins. So it's pretty conservative the way it's set up, but it's also super lucrative for users who would just hold that in their wallet. So we designed it in a way that was super, could really stand the test of time and not be outrageous, and it won't draw quite as many people in because we can't promise crazy rates, but it'll last forever, and that's a lot more important in the space.
Earning a little bit of interest on top of something that you're already planning on hodling anyway, that's just the perfect plan right there.
It's key, and it will scale you out of your position naturally. So, most people, they get excited on an up day and they go, should I sell it all? And they burn 100% of their bag, and then it 10x's from there. Or on the opposite, they see a red day and they go, oh my gosh, bull runs over or whatever, and then they dump everything. So this should help people have a little bit more responsible investing flow and scale out of their positions over time, and it'll make a lot more sense. But we're excited to drop it. It's incredibly close to being ready. We are in the middle of testing across all the networks, so should be very, very soon, and we think it'll be good. It'll just add additional to the platform, and then we've already got some stuff in the works as far as collaborations with other big platforms, and so there's no reason we can't
anything you want to leak?
Can't do it yet. I gotta as much as I'd like to. There's two major partnerships that we got going that are let's get everything just fully inked and get their thumbs up before I can leak it to anybody. I don't want to get myself in hot water.
I can tell you this: your platform is very user friendly. It's easy to work with, and it generates pretty easy returns. Mike and I call it dinner's ready, hot on the table, and it's consistent every day.
Yeah, it's nice. We've never had any outages or anything like that. We had we started as 8-bit, and then we had a transition over to Paca when we rebranded, just to make it cooler and more up to date and everything. As it started to get real popular, we wanted to add a few more things to it. So, but so far it's been great, and I think we just hit 5 million in total deposits. But I think as soon as we launch this new stuff, we're going to run some heavy marketing against it, and I think we'll double up pretty quickly.
Here's Scott's site in case you want to check it out. Pocket.finance. It's a great site, guys. Be sure to go over there and check it out. Mike, Drip, how you doing over there, man? You're quiet. What you working on?
All good, brother. It's midnight here.
Man,
so
you are a trooper, sir, and we appreciate you.
I'm just chill. I'm just sort of I'm coming into that chill zone now.
Yes.
Yeah, Millions has had me at it all day, so I'm good.
What about Mr. Wookums?
Yeah, he's sleeping just over there right now. I don't think he wants to. No, I don't want to be on camera tonight.
Oh, Mr. Wookums, my 6-year-old, when he hears your voice on YouTube, he's like, "Dad, I want to see Mr. Wookums." I'm like, well, come over here and look.
Man, that's all anyone really wants to see is Mr. Wookums. I don't blame him either.
Mike, let's kind of glaze through the paper that you put together. What is the key tabs on here that we should start with? You want to go to borrowing?
Well, I mean, first this actually came out really well. We didn't have a white paper before, and we were kind of just in discussions of, okay, we have these ambassadors that we want to line up. We have this marketing that we want to start pushing. What are they going to talk about? What are they going to share? There's no documentation here. So I kind of got together with the team, with Pete, you and I, and everyone else. We just said, okay, this has got to get done. So I cranked this out in like maybe tops like 4 hours. And I used ChatGPT a lot, but I got a lot of the information from Liquidity, and I kind of ran it through and matched up all the assets, and it came out pretty good, man. It came out pretty good. So I'm proud of that. But yeah, this really goes over a bulk of what you would need to know to first just get an idea of how the platform works, and then how you need to prepare for it as far as, what collateral you need, what does borrowing mean, what's a redemption, what's a liquidation, what is the stability pool, and what does that do for the user. So let me see. Let's go over, scroll down that page a little bit more on that introduction page. Okay. So Moonshare tokenomics there on the bottom. This is what I was talking about before, where this is a fixed, 100 million token hard cap. So this is not an inflationary token. This is a token with a fixed supply that's going to be used as a reward token. So I don't think a lot of people know what that even looks like or feels like, where the platform has a reward token that has a fixed supply. So it's going to be real interesting to see how what APRs, first of all, we're going to get right off the bat, and how much Moonshare this is going to put into users' hands.
Yeah, I think Scott Drip, part of the curiosity that's really and truly, I mean, myself as well. Once this kicks off, how high will these APRs go? I think there's a chance we're going to see some pretty high, but just how high, I don't know. Scott Drip, your thoughts?
I mean, if they're anything like a lot of the other platforms we've seen initially at launch, it'll be in the 10 to 20,000 range right in the very beginning for, and then it'll dip down obviously pretty quickly as adoption happens. But a lot of the times this stuff is just absolutely outrageous, at least for the first few hours. So I'm not sure if that's exactly what we'll see here, but I know that's what we've seen in the past. And there's been a lot of protocols I've made incredible money on in the first 5 hours just because the APRs are disgusting for a while. So I'm interested to see what happens here. I mean, I have a hard time drawing on previous experience for this one because I can't think of a protocol or a platform that has a fixed supply of the reward token off the top of my head, but I can think of a million, that just are inflationary over time, including your pancake swaps of the world and, other major dexes and stuff like that you're either earning while you're farming on it or what have you. So it's a really interesting math problem that I think we're just gonna have to play with to figure it out. But I expect super high APRs. I don't know if they'll be quite that high, but they'll be high. And then as they dip down, we'll see what kind of general range they end up falling into and how quickly, because sometimes it'll stay that way for a few days while it works its way around. Sometimes you've only got a couple hours of that sweet spot. So it's hard to draw on previous experience here because I don't think we've ever seen anything with all these different puzzle pieces fitting together at one time, quite like we're seeing here.
And
Pete,
go ahead. Go ahead.
I was going to say, go back to that last image there real quick, and then go down to where you were before with the Moonshare token. So one thing I really want to point out here is, as part of the tokenomics there, you have 32 million that's going to be stability pool rewards. So you have 100 million hard cap, 2 million for the pre-sale, and 32 million in the rewards pool. That still leaves quite a bit left over of the supply of that Moonshare token. And what does it say that's going to? The remaining supply will be used to fund the LP bonding for protocol owned liquidity. And
so explain to people what LP bonding
is
for people that don't know what that means.
So LP bonding is going to be something that's actually coming after lending. So there's kind of an alpha drop right here, because I don't think we've really talked too much, or even Aaron's really kind of elaborated on what this is or when this is coming out. But this is going to be an extra feature of the lending platform, where when you do LP bonding, for the most part, typical LPs are a user comes in with their LPs, they lend their LPs to the platform in order to boost their liquidity, but they can just remove that at any time along with the rewards. What the LP bonding, the difference in the LP bonding here is that once a user were to insert or deposit their LPs into the platform takes ownership of that. So you're basically selling your LP position to the platform, and that platform is repaying you back in a steady stream of the Moonshare token. So you are selling your LP, and the platform can use these LPs to generate income and revenue for itself however it sees fit. So now you have something that's going to generate some kind of outside rewards or outside revenue that's going to be flooding into this platform as well. And then the reward that you get for doing that is going to be more Moonshare tokens.
Wow. See, Scott, there you go. There's your answer.
Yeah, it's super interesting. It's super interesting. I like the way it's set up. Obviously, everything Aaron's behind has been super solid and always good math, well thought out tokenomics and everything. So I'm excited to see where this thing goes. But it's also really going to help MSS, which I think is going to be the fun part. I mean, if you've dumped a bunch of money into MSS like we have, then it's always nice to see something you already put money into continue to grow. So it's a nice, extra addition to the bonus here.
Yeah, Mike, here's the collateralization that you were talking about. To borrow MUSD, users must deposit MSS into the protocol. This deposit creates a vault which secures the borrowed MUSD. Mike, tell them what the 130% collateral to debt ratio is.
Well, I mean, we've touched on this a few times. It's pretty simple. You just need 130% in order to borrow 100% of whatever you want.
So $130 gets you $100, right?
Exactly. $130 gets you max $100, and then you can utilize that $100 as you wish within the platform. But
really
just because
ratio.
that is the maximum ratio doesn't mean that you have to necessarily borrow the max. You're free to do as you wish. You can, do 200% or 250%, which means you're adding more collateral in relation to how much money you're using to borrow on that. And there is definitely some pros and cons to each.
Oh, is this going to be on new MSS deposited after it goes live, or does any of your current MSS in there account for anything?
It's got to be liquid.
Yeah,
only
liquid.
New liquid that you're putting in. Okay.
Yep.
Yes.
And what I think is going to happen is there's going to be a fair number of people that are going to kind of build up their claims in order to claim a whole bunch of MSS. What I think is going to happen, though, is once people start depositing their MSS for MUSD and they get an idea, or they see actually the APRs live in front of them, like, we're not speculating anymore, we're not talking, we're actually seeing numbers on a screen now, and those numbers are showing some really juicy APRs. Oh no, but hold on a second, I've already claimed all of my MSS, I don't have any more MSS, so what am I going to do? Well, if you want to take advantage, you just buy fresh MSS. The more MSS you can take advantage of right at the start is where you're going to get the maximum advantage from those APRs. So, typically people will claim out, but I think it's also going to lead to a fair amount of fresh MSS buying.
That's the other curiosity thing for me is people know this, but I guarantee you it's going to get down to next week. They're going to go, oh, wait a minute, I've got to start stacking this. Because a lot of people are talking about 7 days before launch, they're going to start stacking, either buying or claiming liquid MSS. Something else that I don't know how often that they've talked about it, but there's going to be an issuance fee. That's 2% of the borrowed amount, right?
Yep, 2% borrow fee.
All right.
So it's a 2% borrow fee, but none of the MSS taxes are actually in play here. So this is a tax-free situation, but there is a borrow fee of 2% for MSS.
Okay. So when you put this in, it's not going to be that 9% sales tax that they normally are, that they're familiar with, correct?
Right. Yeah. No, it's going to be no taxes on that, and the only thing that you would pay would be the 2% of the borrowed amount.
2%
So
drip. Don't forget that.
That'd be
Okay.
up front. You borrow $100, you get 98. Is that correct?
Right. Yep. Exactly.
Yes. 2% drip. Don't forget that.
And of course, any fee that's generated by the platform, it goes right back into the platform in order to provide liquidity for other reward emissions, and also things to support MUSD itself.
All right, Mike, you want to touch on the liquidation portion, or you want to go down to redemption?
Sure.
What do you want to touch on?
Yeah, we could just do a quick stability pool overview right there. So what's cool about the stability pool is you're going to stake your MUSD in the stability pool in order to get the Moonshare token. Now, the really interesting thing about this is when or if liquidations occur, the MUSD is going to be taken from the stability pool in order to repay the loan. And you think, oh, well, shoot, they're taking MUSD out. That sucks. But everybody who is in that pool is now going to get the added bonus of receiving MSS. So you're in the stability pool. You have your MUSD mining Moonshare. And then if liquidations occur, you're now getting some extra MSS. And the MSS that's going to be put into the system due to the collateral ratio being 130%, the MSS that users are going to get is always going to be more dollar value than what was taken out. So for instance, if you have, let's say you $10 was taken out of the MUSD pool, you're going to get $15 worth of MSS given to those stakers. So really getting into this stability pool and just chilling and letting it ride is really going to be where the money is at in this thing. Because not only are you getting those Moonshare rewards, which are great in themselves, but now you're getting extra MSS tokens. And what can you do with those MSS tokens is you can reinforce the loan that you just took out and give yourself that buffer that we've been talking about. So let's say you did go in, you maxed out that collateral ratio, but now if a liquidation does occur there, you're getting some MSS back, which you can use to take out more MUSD and kind of reinforce your position, or you can take that MSS and take it over to the MSS platform and you can stake it there and build up your bag that way as well. So there's lots of options a lot of options that you can do with the tokens that you're going to be receiving. And the way the system is always looking out for itself and for its own users is really key on the way that Liquidity works. So it's a really awesome platform.
Scott, on Pocket Finance, what's the minimum stablecoin value that can go into your platform?
It's $15. It's $15 minimum to put in.
So on something like this, say you get some MSS or there's a little extra, you're being conservative. Hell, I just throw that extra right over there to Scott's platform and pad another bag to keep that growing as well. Man, the options, there's a lot of options here.
Yeah, this platform's designed really well. Thank you for plugging ours too. I think it's nice. A lot of us have spent a lot of years in this space, so it's nice to have built some some good professional friendships across the board with folks who actually are doing DeFi the right way and, honest platforms, because you can share some of that information back and forth. I know Crypto Mischief, Richie, I've put a bunch of money into his platforms over the years. He's made me good money. We've got a bunch of money in MSS. I mean, it's nice to be able to move profits around and leverage different platforms and make good money. And we're just barely getting into a bull run. So I think we've got a couple years of, really, really profitable ventures here. So it's just nice to know some of the devs and be in a position where we can actually move those profits around and explode them a little bit.
Yeah. So Mike, this is the Moonshare rewards and distribution section. This is the distribution mechanisms that are in place. Scott and Drip, you'll find this pretty darn fascinating, because this is after you stake your MUSD, and then this is the actual mechanism of the Moonshare reward token. Mike, your wife just went by.
Yeah, no, our dog's going crazy up there because she smells what my wife's cooking over here. But let me see here. Stability pool rewards incentivize users to deposit MUSD. Stability pool participants earn Moonshare tokens, encourages consistent. So this kind of goes along with the theme of incentivizing users, and that's what this platform does really well. Is it incentivizes the necessary action to increase the health of the platform overall. And it's not doing this just for the sake of a platform. It's doing this in the sake or in the way of generating rewards for users. And those rewards are what can then be used to support the platform even more.
And Scott, you commented on this, and Drip, you commented on this before. This is a protocol that's set up to where participation is the key. And if you plant your MUSD and if you stake your Moonshare rewards tokens, now, Mike, I'm going to tell you, you drove a very good point home is to make sure when you start off in the protocol that you're conservative on your loan that you take out, because if to me what you're saying is if you start off conservative, but Scott and Drip, I am going to let you correct me a little bit because I am going to go into the Syndicate Club, and then so yeah, it's you got a chance with a big enough bag that you can earn some really good rewards off of this. And then once you let all this circulate around, you see this arrow right here that goes to the left? That's flying all the way to Pocket Finance right off the screen. So that's where that's flying to right there.
Love it.
Yes. So
yeah. So Mike, if you don't mind, can you route me through where these liquidity lines or liquidation lines are? What are those kind of set as far as a percentage, or how exactly does the liquidation work?
Where do you want me to pull up the?
So
you want me to pull up right here, Mike?
Yes, that's a good spot for you. Probably go down a little
There you
bit.
go.
Okay,
There
you
it
go.
is, Scott.
So Vault is liquidated. Collateral debt to ratio falls below the minimum 130%. Liquidations ensure that the protocol remains solvent and MUSD is fully backed. Liquidated debt is canceled by the stability pool. So this touches on something I expressed earlier, where the stability pool supports the entire platform. When liquidations occur, the MUSD is taken from the stability pool in order to repay the loan there. And in exchange, those stability pool stakers do get now some MSS given back to them. And as far as being on top of the health of your loan, there is going to be a meter, there is going to be an indicator that's going to let the user know when their position or how close their position is to getting liquidated. And of course, if you see your position is getting closer and closer to getting liquidated, it's not necessarily going to happen in like just a minute. It's not going to go from 100% you're okay to, oh no, you're totally screwed. It's going to kind of go there gradually where you're able to, it has enough time for you to react to it. So if you see your position is getting closer to that liquidation level, you can always add a little bit more to your position. You can take some risk off the table. You don't just have to sit there and, watch the liquidation happen.
But the key to it is, Mike, is it all goes back to MSS is the main token for the protocol, to where if you go, oh my goodness, I'm getting, because it's going to be at Grip and Scott, there's going to be a health meter in the protocol, like Mike was saying. So if you have a heavy bag, which all of us do in MSS, and we go, oh my gosh, I'm getting close to being liquidated, you can claim some MSS and just insert it right into that.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. Pay down your debt a little bit. Open up a little bit of that.
That's correct.
Like you said. Mm-hmm.
And the fact that MSS, you have that 2% a day compound feature and you have that 1% claim feature, you can probably keep your loan fairly healthy for a pretty good amount of time. And that whole time that your loan is healthy, you're going to be earning those Moonshare rewards. So my recommendation would probably be, if you were to go in and send it, which there's absolutely some benefits to doing that. Again, the APRs are going to be highest at the beginning. You can just monitor your loan. And if it starts getting a little bit lower, you just keep on drawing that 1% out of your MSS claim and just putting that into the MUSD side 1% a day. You can definitely keep that going for a very long time, soaking up all those rewards the whole way.
Yeah, that's kind of my thought process is, why not? If you've got a really limited amount of capital, you may, and nothing as far as dry powder sitting on the sidelines, may not be the best idea to completely send it, because you might not have any wiggle room when that time comes. Right. But if you do have the ability to go capture dry powder, whether it's from Pack of Finance or anywhere else, you've got some sitting on the sidelines. Why not send it, leverage the full 130% of the maximum value you have, and then if the market turns against you a little bit, you've just got the ability to add a little bit more to it and pay down that loan and open up that breathing room. So I feel like that's probably going to be my strategy. Maximize it, and then if need be, if it's getting anywhere close to a liquidation where the health meter starts to go down, I'll just pay it down and keep the process going.
Because technically, Mike, a pocket finance user could just cash out, swap over to MUSD, and then go into the stability pool after that. Correct?
Assuming that if you do have a pocket finance position, sure. I mean, you could essentially do the same thing from any other platform that you're generating rewards from. You can take those rewards in and just kind of be reinforcing your MUSD position.
Right.
And the peg of MUSD is really the whole point of the platform. Maybe not the whole point, but the main point is to try to keep that MUSD above peg. So when it goes down, that really presents a huge opportunity if MUSD were to go down a little bit, because now you can go ahead and get more bang for your buck with a straight BNB swap. So let's say you have your MSS position that you've taken into MUSD and you're reaping some rewards off of that, but now the peg has gone a little bit lower. You can buy some MUSD with some fresh BNB. Once that goes back up to $1, you've just locked yourself in some profit right there. And since the whole platform is supporting the peg, there's a very high likelihood that once that drops down, not only are there going to be users that are going to be trying to take advantage of this, but more than likely there are going to be bots that are going to be monitoring this peg. And just like with any platform where there is a kind of an easy way to make some easy profits, bots are inevitable. They're going to come up. And bots in this case are going to be very good, because a bot will look for that peg to drop below so it can instantly add some BNB and take advantage of that arbitrage, because the platform is going to be working to push that peg back up to $1. So it's fairly quote unquote easy money, not financial advice. But once that MUSD, or if that MUSD were to go down, picking some up cheap and then selling that off later on is a really solid play as well. And then, of course, Mike, if the MUSD goes above, then that's a great opportunity for your MSS, because the ratio there is always going to be the same between MSS. You're always going to get the most MUSD by going through the MSS route.
So here's the redemption section if you want to cover on that.
Employs a mechanism to maintain MUSD stablecoin soft peg. Redemptions allow MUSD holders to exchange their tokens directly for MSS at face value. Yep. Redemption process by which to exchanges MUSD. Okay. So yeah, we kind of touched on this a little bit there. Yes. So how redemptions work is when an MUSD redeems. Hold on, go back to that last one you're just at. Okay, so the system selects the vaults with the lowest collateral to debt ratio. So this is what we were talking about before about that health meter. So if your health meter on your loan is, the riskiest, you're also at the highest risk of getting redeemed right there. And then the redeemer will receive that MSS in exchange for their MUSD, reducing the debt of the liquidated vaults. And this is all in the hopes to return solvency to the platform. So just to maintain that peg, this is what the redemptions are for. And there is a redemption fee for that as well. And it's a dynamic fee. So if there are too many redemptions that are going on at one time, that redemption fee will get higher and higher and higher, which is going to de-incentivize redemptions. So again, this goes back to how the platform is always going to incentivize the action which benefits the platform the most, but also benefits users the most as well.
Yeah, and this is the benefits section that we talked about before on MUSD price stability. So, and that there's the fees that you talked about, and here's the main thing is the impact on users. And Scott Drip, this is something we talked about earlier. The borrowers must manage their vaults carefully as redemptions target low values. Maintaining a higher collateral ratio reduces the likelihood of being targeted during redemptions. So yeah, it is, you can send it, but it is still good to have a slight cushion in there to make sure that you don't fall victim to a redemption. Right, Mike?
Yeah, sure. And the whole way you can be monitoring the health, which is the most important thing, because as we all say, there is benefits to go ahead and just go hard and fast as much as you can. And then if you're able to just watch that, I mean, there's really no drawback to that. If you're going to be the type of person that wants to monitor it, and I'm sure a lot of people will, that might be a very valid way to go. If you're someone who's a little bit more passive, maybe you're really busy at work, maybe you don't have a lot of time to dedicate to watching something like this, that's fine. Just reduce your collateral ratio, put a little bit of extra padding on there, and you'll be good to go.
I think that's an excellent point. If you want to be more active and in here every day, I mean, a lot of us work in the crypto world, so I'm staring at the screen a very large amount of the time, so it's not a big deal to flip screens and check my position, make sure everything's healthy. Whereas other people, right, they've got the day jobs and everything, so they got to make sure that they're focused on other things. So as far as a set it and forget it play, you may not want to send it. You may just want to go more conservative and have plenty of buffer there. Or if you want to send it, it's better if you can keep tabs on it. So it makes sense. Great point.
Yeah. And like I said, since there's so many ways to play this, if you just don't want to necessarily bother your mind at all with being liquidated, just buy MUSD with some BNB. Just get in there with BNB. You don't even have an MSS position necessarily that you have to monitor, but you're able to take advantage of the stability pool rewards. You're still going to get MSS if there are any liquidations, but you don't necessarily have an MSS position yourself that you're worried about getting liquidated. Now, the flip side to that, though, is more than likely we are going to see some MSS price appreciation due to this, lowering the supply, increasing the incentive for people to buy fresh MSS, to hold MSS, to utilize MSS in this platform. So it's very likely that the price of MSS will appreciate due to this. Now, if you've gotten into the stability pool and you don't have an MSS position, well, now you're not able to take advantage of this price appreciation that now we're seeing in the MSS token. So it's all up to kind of playing the game how you want. But the real important thing is that there are so many options. There are so many ways that you can play this without necessarily marrying yourself into one. Because you can go into the stability pool, and if there are liquidations, if you do get some MSS in your bag, well, now you can just use that freshly rewarded MSS that was really given to you fairly risk-free, and now you can use that to add to your already existing MUSD position and just grow it from there.
Well, I can tell you something that just stuck out with me after this. By the way, Mike, this has been a great explanation. You're gifted in this more than what you know. But I can tell you this, if I was watching this live stream and I was a new user that didn't want to get into the staking protocol, but wanted to buy MUSD to go into this, based on what I'm seeing, it sounds like it would be a very smart idea to buy a stack of MSS and hold it on the side just in case I needed to control that collateral ratio to make sure I had some liquid on the side for a safety. Is that a correct assumption?
Sure, yeah. You can always have some extra MSS on the side, which you can just be stacking up a liquid bag, or you can just claim whenever you need, depending on the size of your position in both platforms. But yeah. Having some extra MSS on the side is definitely a good idea. But if you don't necessarily have any MSS on the side, it's always there to buy. Just buy some fresh.
Yeah, and it's cheap right now. So if you're gonna get into this, guys, and you're not in the staking protocol, not financial advice, but if you know that it's the token that serves as collateral for this, put you a bag on the side. Scott, that's
the staking itself provides a hedge for your position. you know, the 1% you're receiving is a hedge against your MUSD position if the price were to go down. So it jives with the platform, the protocol, the way the MSS platform works just so perfectly.
So step 6 in this chart that I've put out several times before, on step 1, it's a 7-day claim, let it run. But over here, it's switched to 4 days compounding and then 3 days accumulation. But out of this discussion, that's an easy way to set yourself a great bag on the side to participate in this. And man, what a great web to weave between doing this and over here, these dollars flying straight to Scott's platform. Man, you can create the Scott. That's the part where you're supposed to smile. That this is a great circle of profit over here that I think Mr. Wookums would be in full approval of. Don't you think, Drip?
I think so. I mean, he's nodding in approval in the background. So what I'm really excited about is to be able to extract value from the ecosystem without damaging the ecosystem, you know, whilst helping the ecosystem. I think that's a huge thing, absolutely huge. So, you know, you don't even have to sell an MSS token to extract value now. So it's, you know, I'm still definitely, you know, as I've said, the last sort of couple of months, I've been absolutely flat out, but I'm still piecing it together exactly how I'm going to approach this. But just chatting with you guys tonight, I'm getting, you know, some new ideas and stuff like that, how I'm going to play it. But yeah, to be able to support MSS, to be able to give back value as well as extract it is huge. It's huge.
Yeah, it's I've actually, Mike, listening to you, Scott, listening to you, and Drip, I've actually got some new ideas. I'm actually going to have another, I think I'm going to get another wallet. No, I'm not going to do another wallet, but I'm going to have at least a pile of MSS on the side for collateral to make sure if I go into full send-it mode, as Scott would say, that it's we've got it there just as a little bit more rocket fuel to make sure everything's going right. Let me see if there's any comments that we can look at. Let's see. Advertising on MSS, that will be addressed this week. We are getting our images together for MoonYield, DeFi to wealth, collaboration over competition equals success. Hey, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to tell all three of you, I value your time. You got all three, you guys combined have a ginormous audience compared to mine, and I'm humbled that you're even willing to come over here on my channel, which is less than 300 people, and I really appreciate it. It shows a lot about all three of you. This is a good one, Mike. So, rule of thumb to lower liquidation risk, 25% or less.
The way mathematically that, so he just puts 25% there, but the number would go up. So the higher the collateral ratio is, the safer you are. So 130% to borrow 100, or you bring that up $150 to borrow 100, or you take that up to $200 to borrow 100. So
right.
The more you add to that collateral ratio, that's what's going to give you that pillow. So if you go in with $200 of collateral to borrow 100, you know, that's a lot safer than just going in with $130 of collateral to borrow that same 100. So
right.
The bigger cushion you give yourself, the safer your position is.
So really and truly, what this user is saying is add another 25% to your, take out the same amount, but add 25% more to what you put into the protocol just to protect yourself a little bit more.
Exactly. That's exactly it. So using 25% as the example would mean using 155% collateral ratio there. So that would mean $155 in order to borrow 100.
And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to add to it. This is good. And then take a little bit more of your capital, set it to the side in liquid MSS to even make sure you're better off after that. But that's my opinion. And Scott, Drip, my wife will tell you my opinion will get you a flat Coke and a stale bag of chips. So there you have it.
Love it. Well, I think MSS in general. I mean, let's dial it back a little bit. Just zoom out. I think we've all been in a lot of protocols that we've thought we're going to go to the moon. So I think it's important to always find opportunities to take profits along the way. Now, with new utility generally comes a new little bit of FOMO, and that can increase some prices. So having a bag on the side of MSS to be able to pay down your loan is a good thing. Also, just having a nice bag on the side to sell if the price spikes, that's also good too. No big deal to take a profit there. So there's a lot of opportunities to be able to do that, and no one should ever be shamed for taking profit, right? These closed loop systems, you can't ever take profit, and you just hope you get some sort of a mission reward token or whatever, so you can slowly do that. Like, they don't work over time because people need stuff going on, or you want to be like, man, we've 3x the price and I want to sell 10% of my bag. So not a big deal to buy up a bunch of MSS token, keep some of it on the side, and then if the price goes crazy, maybe peel off 25% of it, take a little profit, be happy with it, but then also some to pay down your loan. So I think as my strategy is kind of coming together, it's going to be buy a nice bag of MSS and then be ready to put the other tokens in and start earning some rewards.
And make your taking profit cyclical. Don't do it once and then wait 60, 90 days. Make yourself a plan to where you can continuously take out profits and then put it into a stable platform to where your stable coin will earn yourself rewards. Scott, I know you know nothing about that. So,
nothing about it.
Yeah.
Even us, even when, it's just got to be a little bit of mix of everything. I mean, you can stake your stable coins over on Paca. And as you go, eventually you're going to take profits along the way, do a little bit of compounding, do some claiming. There's no reason you shouldn't be buying XRP or any of the other tokens you really like and putting them on the side. Now, if you can find a place like, say, the vaults to stick it somewhere so it can do something for you, great. If not, and you're just holding it in your wallet, that's fine too. But don't be so hyper focused on only one platform to miss part of the great parts of the bull run. Don't go into every meme token that you see, because most of those are going to be trash. And if you're really lucky, you'll hit a good one. Make sure you're buying the stuff with utility, because as we go through this this bull market, it's going to have to look different than previous bull markets, right? We've been on this same 4-year cycle for a while. We've never been in a bull market where there's been institutional capital that have had the green light to go in and invest. So as that's starting to happen, a lot of these tokens aren't going to see the same cyclical cycle that we've seen in the past. I really don't think that Bitcoin is going to peak in September and then dive hard, and we're going to see a bear market like we've seen in the past. Because I think, especially if the United States are using it as a reserve currency or anything like that, and other countries are buying it, you're just not going to see the same type of cycle. It's the reason we don't see this type of stuff in the stock market, is because these big mutual funds and all that are buying these stocks, they're not dumping them every so often. They need to hang on to them. They're scaling in and out of positions at a much, much different rate. And there's so much more liquidity there that takes a lot more to move the price. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is the, biggest bull run we will ever see. And then we'll just see longer cycles in the future that will be a little bit closer to the stock market as we see it now, because you're going to see that much more liquidity in it. It'll just take longer to move those prices, and we'll fall into people really adopting the technology that's behind these tokens, rather than just kind of the hype of, little splashes of technology, but a lot of just excitement around the tokens every 4 years in the crypto market. I just think it looks different. I think the cycles will start to look different now. So just with everything, enjoy your MSS, enjoy your Paca, but also get this technology, the tokens that are attached to technology, your Bitcoin or XRP or whatever you like, SUI. Make sure you're buying those on the side. I think it's important to be a little more well-rounded. I think we can all get pretty excited in a bull run, but I think it's a prime time to just mention that take profits from every platform you're in and spread them out to the stuff you really truly believe in the long term. And I think everyone will be better for it.
So check this out, guys. Getting liquidated sounds bad and you don't want it to happen, but you do still keep your MUSD. It's kind of like selling. Mike, you made a really good point the other day about that, about how if you do get liquidated, how that still gets distributed out to the stability pool. Kind of touch on that now that someone brought it up. Touch on that a little bit more.
Put the the sentence back on there. Still give your MUSD. Yeah. So yeah, if your MSS position does end up getting liquidated, you do still get your MUSD. So it's not like you've lost everything. You've just lost a percentage of it. But in exchange, you do still have that MUSD, and you can do whatever you want with that MUSD. If you do want to go ahead and sell that, you can do that as well. If you want to double down, if your position gets liquidated, that's reasonable to assume that probably MSS price has gone down, and that might be a great opportunity to just scoop some back up on the cheap, because you know that this entire platform is created to give incentive, utility, and price appreciation to the underlying asset, which is MSS. So you have this entire force that is working to cause some price appreciation in this asset. So it's definitely not a bad idea to kind of reinforce your position if the MSS price does drop down.
All right, all three of you, read this comment.
Oh man.
All right,
I mean,
guys.
no, my beard is, as Drip Millions would say, it's bum fluff, right? Is this a little bit of bum fluff here?
Hey, he just
sorry,
described all
bum
three of you
fluff,
guys. Follicle scrub. Follicle scrub. Here's another good question. Does lending assure that MSS is here to stay? My everyday person comment to that is that when you can secure stability by borrowing against an asset and locking a supply up, it's going to definitely extend the life of it. But you guys chime in.
I mean, it's definitely going to extend it. It's definitely going to benefit it. It's definitely going to incentivize that it's going to be here a lot longer than if this wasn't around. It's anything that's going to add support to an underlying asset is going to increase its liquidity. It's going to keep it around doing what it does best longer than it would have if this wasn't around.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd say you nailed it. And the word I was thinking the whole time is just utility. Anytime you add utility to anything, another way to use it, another utility for it, you're going to extend the life because it gives people an opportunity to use it in a different way. So the more different utilities and ways to use that token or leverage it, it's going to make it last longer. So was it going to be here forever? Who knows? But the lending should certainly help. And again, not to beat a dead horse, but we're moving into a bull run. Like, this is the time it's going to be exciting. In fact, Peter, your channel, you said you only had 300 subscribers. It's timing, dude. The next bull run is where you're going to explode. So people are going to be real interested in channels like yours in about 6 months, when everyone's looking at new stuff and who's been making good content on this, and MSS price is going crazy. Where's the videos where I can go find that stuff? So
yes.
It's all really just timing. If you get in at the beginning, if you're making a lot of content at the beginning of a bull run, and then you go through the thing. I mean, I saw a lot of channels just blow up last bull run, so I was a little late to the game myself.
Scott, Pocket Finance video coming up soon, dude. I'm sure there's plenty of them, but I'm gonna put one out there too. Drip, this is a comment for you, man. Dedication from millions to tuning after midnight. Thank you, brother. Thank you, all you guys, for bringing it.
Pleasure, man. Pleasure.
Yeah, man.
It's all good, man. Yeah, it's 1:18. It was much easier for me actually when I was in Mexico, because I'm kind of on a similar, time zone to you guys. But back in the UK, there ain't many people doing this from the UK, from what I've seen anyway. So I'm always a little bit out on the streams. But like with Danny D streams, it's like 3 a.m. It normally happens when I'm. It's like. It's only so far I can push it, but yeah, like tonight was like, I have to be here. I have to be here tonight. So.
Danny was looking at us like, man, you tired, man? I'm like, Danny, dude, I'm falling out, man. He's like, hey. And I'm like, no, man, I got to go. Love you, Danny.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say about the lending side of things, I think it gives people confidence where they know that themselves and other people can take value from a token without having to sell the token. So I think it gives them confidence. It's not going to have people not just be dumping the token, or they don't have to dump the token anymore to get value from the system. And I feel like it could give people some confidence there in the protocol, and give it that sort of lifespan that we've been talking about going into this. I agree with Scott as well that we've not seen a bull run before where We've just had the injection of institutional finance. I think, again, you know, no one knows really fully, but I do think this could be the bull run of all bull runs. And normally after governments and institutions get involved, things get a little bit more boring, a little bit more predictable. And that does lend credence to the idea of the longer cycles with the, you know, maybe less of a roller coaster in terms of how things move. But I'm certainly positioning myself as heavily as possible for this one particularly. I was around for the last one and I did very well in it, but I could have done a whole lot better with my knowledge that I have right now. So I don't intend on making mistakes twice. So
So
again,
let me ask you this. No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. It's all about learning, and I do think that this is a huge opportunity right ahead. We're just coming in, the party's just getting started, things are just getting spicy. I'm very heavy in XRP, you know, since 20 to 40 cent, and we're seeing a whole different narrative coming now that's never been seen. Am I fully on board with it? I do think crypto is the people's money, and I'm very much in alignment with the original idea of Bitcoin, the peer-to-peer thing. But you just have to ride these things. If governments get involved, if institutions get involved, you have to ride it, take what you can from it, and that means taking profits in everything. It means positioning yourself so that you can benefit from your work way after the bull run's finished.
So check this out, guys. What would
I
you
definitely
do
think
with
that-
$2,025?
Oh, there we go. We got the crypto collector going.
So, Mike, this is your world, sir. So let's, Mike, all these 27 people that are watching, and I just put this, the link on YouTube. Tell these people about this, man.
Yeah, man. So this is the crypto collector, and it's a really fun raffle styled app. And what's really cool about it is if you go down over to the left button over there, you can buy tickets for this raffle using any one of these altcoins. It can be BNB, Ethereum, Doge, Near, SHIB. I mean, any one of these tokens. And you can use these to buy tickets for a chance to win one of any 6 of these jackpots. If you look over there to the right-hand side, you have the prize pool, which is a total of 3,375. So it's a pretty decent chunk of BNB in there. And you can win any one of those 6 prizes. And tickets are only $25, $25 worth of whatever altcoin or BNB, stablecoin, whatever token you choose, but gives you a real chance to win some BNB here. So it's pretty fun. And over on the left, this little space that has that little timer going around it, we're going to be using this space for different advertising. So if any other platforms want to advertise in this space, they can. We're advertising right now for MSS. We've got Warriors DAO obviously on there. We have, I believe we have a QR code there that goes directly to our TG, which is a pretty cool feature. Leaderboard race. Okay, so this is actually a new feature that we just added now. If you go back to that, Pete.
There it is.
Oh yeah, there we go.
That,
31 tickets, dude. That's got to be Jay Ripto, man. He just goes crazy on these things, and he just wants to win it all. But
hey, is that you, man? Fess up.
But we already have 110 tickets that we have sold for this round, which is, I mean, that's really, really awesome. And what's even cooler about this is that we have originally our idea for the crypto collector. It was first called the Drip Collector, but we decided to kind of change around the name and give it a little bit of extra utility to kind of keep up with the times right now, since a lot of people are very interested in MSS. So we have diverted all of the buy pressure from these ticket buys to MSS. And we have already purchased several $100s. I think it's somewhere close to $200 or $300 worth of completely fresh buys of MSS that has been taken from a percentage of each one of these ticket buys, and there's zero sell pressure introduced into that MSS. We are just going to stake that forever, basically.
So
And-
tell them, Mike, tell them about the race. So it's at right around 25% right now. Tell them about this race right here to 50%.
So the race to 50% of the cylinder, top 3 players win 350, 150, and 100. So this is actually just a new feature that we just unlocked to kind of increase the incentive and add a little bit of FOMO onto this ticket buying. So whoever those top 3 spaces are, by the time, if you see the water level right now is about 25% or though, once that gets up to 50%, that's going to be the 50% fill mark. Once we get to that point, we are going to dish out those 3 prizes that we just showed right there. But what also happens is now it gets really interesting, because now you can buy tickets with MSS. And
once it gets to the green ring, right?
Once it gets to the green ring, yeah. So you can use your MSS tokens again without introducing any sell pressure whatsoever. You can now trade your MSS for tickets for a chance to win this BNB jackpot. So it's a way to essentially possibly get and earn and get rewarded some BNB with your MSS, but you're not selling your MSS.
That's so you'll be able to use MSS once you get to the center ring, correct?
Yes. Yep. You can use MSS to buy tickets once it gets up to that 50% mark.
You can use MSS, drip. What is that? Wrap drip, drip
Yep.
X. What is
any one
what
of
is
those
this
tokens.
PESA?
PESA is another token that we as a DAO, we're just kind of hodling right now. So we decided to give a little bit of extra utility to the token and its holders. So you can, just like you saw right there, once it gets to the 50% mark, you can use MSS, drip, wrapped drip, drip X, or PESA in order to purchase tickets here without introducing any sell pressure. And of course, we do add buy pressure to MSS with that as well.
Mike, at the bottom, I see the word discount. What does it mean when it says add 4 more tickets for a discount?
Yeah, so you get a discount once you add or once you buy in bulk. Essentially, if you can click up on that ticket meter, it'll kind of show you. Pretend as if you're buying 5 tickets on the top little arrow on the number, on top of the number 1. Right there you go. Yeah, so there you go.
Okay.
So you save. That's basically like getting a ticket for free when you do that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you add 5, you get 1 ticket free. So there you go. Oh, that's great to know. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, because there's a lot of people out there that really like to go heavy into these raffles because obviously, logically, the more tickets you have, the more chance there is for you to win. So we wanted to incentivize that logic even further and give people a little bit extra rewards for doing that. So we basically buy a ticket for you on the house there when you buy 5 or more.
Scott, Paca World, what's going on this weekend, Paca, man?
We're just continuing the testing and everything, and so I won't give an official date on when we're going to launch the vaults, but it'll be soon. So we've got the vault section coming, which will open up the rest of the networks over on the pool side as well. And you'll have the ability to stake a ton of different assets on 4 different chains for now, and then we'll launch some more later. But it's pretty exciting. Again, over the next probably 10 to 14 days, I'll be able to announce those partnerships that we have. And yeah, we'll just have all sorts of alpha for you. I wish I could share a little bit more tonight, but yeah, if you click, since you're on the screen, if you click over on the pools tab, this will kind of show you the general flow of what we have. If you're interested in getting in right now, you can throw stuff in this USDT pool, which is on BSC, and then you'll have the ability to stake stuff on Sonic, which is what SwapX is on. SwapX is about to launch. I know a lot of you guys probably got into the SwapX pre-sale. You'll have the ability to throw your SUI in the vaults, and USDC on the SUI side is their main stable coin. So across the board, it's just going to cross-chain everything, which a lot of folks just have the chain that they like to work on. So this will give people the ability to stake their preferred stable coin on their preferred chain. And then generally, if they really like one chain, they've got a bunch of assets on that chain, they'll be able to stuff them over on the vaults, which will be live very soon.
So I've got Sui wallet. Well, I need that to interact with this.
You will. So when we have the when we go live on Sui, so Sui is not an EVM chain. It kind of runs on its own type of chain. So
Right.
it doesn't integrate the same that all this stuff does, and that's one of the complexities that we've had, which is building out and having it be seamless. So you didn't have to essentially have two different sites. And behind the scenes, it's actually two completely different sites. They just look identical. So when you're flowing from one network to another one, off EVM over to Sui, you'll be switching sites, but you won't know it as a user. That's essentially how it works. So that'll be available here very soon, and you'll have the ability to do that. We've got a little meme coin, and we'll probably be supporting other tokens like Richie's token, which is Sui Trump, and a handful of other things. So this is going to allow us to branch out our partnerships, which is great in the space, accessing other people's communities and strengthening those partnerships with people who know what they're doing and are building, quality platforms is good. So that's going to allow us to do a lot of that. Again, it'll allow us to collaborate with you guys more. It's just it's going to be a big move for the site, and it's going to take us into the bull run in a really solid way. So that's the next week or two in Paca.
Yeah, I've definitely got to get into Sweet Trump, and man, you got a great looking site, man. You guys great. Drip, what's going on in your world, man?
Life is good, brother. Life is good. I'll say I've been in Mexico a lot. We're back in the UK for Christmas and New Year, and we're probably going to head back out for 5 or 6 months from May. So I've got to put up with this stinking weather for another few more months. It's freezing cold, it's wet. It's but good weather for ducks, right? So yeah, life is good. Life is blessed. I've got I've got all my bags are packed. My bags are ready. My Millions bags are packed. I've packed his bags for him. My dad's portfolio is pumping. He's happy, and everything's good, man. Pulse chain's going crazy right now. So I don't know if you guys are much into Pulse chain.
Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, I mean, you've got the whole ecosystem. You've got the core tokens, and you've got the meme tokens, and you've got everything else in between. It's like it's going to be the first bull run for a lot of this stuff, and obviously the potential for big growth is there. So I went in fairly hard on Pulse Chain. Luckily, at the bottom, I didn't. Less about skill, more about luck, I would say. But I went in fairly heavy when things were right down. When everyone was selling, I was buying. That's tend to how I do things. When people were mass panic when they're selling, I'm looking for opportunities. So things like PDI, I was putting on my Twitter, $1,600 would get you $1 million, and that was only in September. Now it costs you $35K probably for the same amount in 2 months.
Wow, are you serious?
So, yeah. So things have gone crazy over there right now. So I've got bags are packed in Pulse Chain. I've got my XRPs, my top 50 cryptos. I've got the Bitcoin stuff that I sit on. I've been sitting on since $3,000. So the bull run's coming, man. It's coming, and life is good. Life is good. Very, very, very blessed. Very, very blessed.
You got me into PDI, man. So, and I'm very thankful you did. Guys, I'm going to put links to the Warriors DAO, Scott's channel, and Drips in the video description and in the comments. I'm going to put a link to the crypto collector. I already put one for Scott's platform, but I'm going to put it in the video description to make sure everybody can get in there. Guys, pay attention to Drip Millions in the Pulse world. He told you a long time ago on these gains, don't look at me. I'm a tree guy that likes to talk about crypto, but these three guys that are on here with me, they're gifted and they're very knowledgeable in this field. So, guys, I really appreciate your time in here. I really do. Scott, I'm probably going to message you a couple of times this week. I'll be researching Paca. Going to do a video for anybody that happens to be new to my channel that hasn't seen your platform before. We're going to show it to them. And with Sui, we're going to support Richie with some Sui Trump. And I definitely want to put my spot Sui on your platform so it can start earning. And Drip, man, I'm riding PDI with you, man. That's some awesome stuff. And Mike, I got my tickets to the crypto collector. Shout out to you and Clax and everybody at the Warriors DAO. You guys are doing great things. We definitely had some people watching. We talked about MSS, man. This collaboration has been great. Let's do this again, and let's not wait a long time to do it. And you guys, next time you come on board, bring your stuff and send me images, and let's talk about it all. I mean, yeah, we're talking about MSS, but collaboration is a whole lot greater than competition, because when we all come together, we win. And when you come together, nobody can stop us either. So, and I've got my ugly Christmas sweater on too that looks weird on a green screen because it makes me look like some kind of a space alien. That's okay.
That's great.
Yeah, man, this has been a great talk, man. I really loved just kind of going back and forth in the discussion that we had here. And also, I'm sure we clarified a lot of just ideas that people were just kind of unsure about in lending, just kind of pointing out some strategies, pointing out some bullet points on how the assets work. So it's an exciting time. You know, not only is this happening, you know, for MSS, but it's right at the start of what is going to be the biggest bull run ever. So it's a really, really exciting time for sure.
This is my final thought on this lending. Not only does it add utility to MSS, but it's going to allow me to slide some profits right out of this lending protocol into Paca, into PDI, to buy some more tickets for the crypto collector and to get some large cap crypto. And I'm not selling the first MSS token. So, and I think that's something that is just bullish on its own. And I thank you guys for your input. You've added some more thoughts into what I'm going to be talking about, and let's keep it going. I never thought 4 months ago when I started this, I'd meet people around the world, but man, that happened quick, and there are some pretty cool cats, man. Let's make sure to chat again sometime. And come February, in my hometown, we have a celebration called Mardi Gras. And if you guys send me a message that says, "Hey, I'm coming for carnival season," we'll welcome you guys with open arms. Have any of you guys ever had a moon pie before?
Can't say I have, brother.
I don't think so.
Well, if you send me your address in messaging, I'll send you a box of moon pies. And don't wear socks when you eat them. That's my only warning to you. So, and I'll even send you a set of beads as well. But outside of that, guys, I appreciate your time. And wow, an hour and 37 minutes felt like 5 minutes. It really and truly did. Wow.
Yep. Yeah,
And,
millions, man. Thank you so much for coming on. Scott, always a pleasure, dude. Can't wait to do this with you guys next time, man. Have a great night.
Yeah, I asked Mike about his lights, man. Y'all got some cool lamps, man. I gotta step my game up around here.
Yeah, man.
You got the James Bond lamp in the background. Scott, you got the 3-legged lamp that's all geometric. And what is that? Is that tree limbs on the wall? That's pretty cool, man. I like trees.
Yeah, those are actual acoustic. Those are acoustic art, so it absorbs the sound.
Acoustic art. I like that. Okay.
Yeah, that's dope. I like that.
All right. Well, y'all have a wonderful night, and I'm gonna get back to the grind and check on the wife and kids. But it's been a pleasure, guys. Let's do this again sometime.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Peace
Thanks for
out,
having
guys.
Take care.
Good.
Appreciate it. Take care, guys.